world is being artificially put into a cascade of crises that will lead to the accelerated, controlled collapse and the mass death of billions upon billions of people.
New York City, in the year 2022. Nothing runs anymore. Nothing works. But the people are the same. And the people will do anything to get what they need.
This is the police.
What they need most is Soylent Green.
The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted.
They can try to ignore the general public. They can ignore this scientist, this doctor, this study. But when you have a major respect government, the Japanese are as smart as you get, say, okay, this is causing heart attacks and myocarditis at a very high level. It's not rare. That validates the mountains of other evidence. Molecular biologists, we could potentially be sterilizing an entire generation with COVID vaccines. Yeah, that's what we know it's doing. Now it's all confirmed. First batch of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine documents revealed 42,000 reaction reports, 101,223 deaths just in the first few weeks of it.
The die-offs are accelerating. The stillbirths are accelerating. The establishment hasn't been able to achieve what they wanted with the Omicron hysteria. And so they're going to play another card. And the card that it looks like they're going to play sometime in 2022 is the false flag cyber attack on the financial infrastructure.
When you talk about something like cyber warfare, it's actually quite cheap and quite easy for a country to develop a cyber weapon. And that cyber weapon can have equivalent effects. You could have a cyber weapon potentially shut down the power grid, for example, on the whole East Coast. New York is out. Wall Street is out. All your banks are out. You can't even withdraw money. You know, you can imagine people panic starting and people trying to get cash. You can't get cash. ATMs aren't working. Then things like your water waste treatment plants aren't working. There's no clean water. There's going to be a run on stores. Stores potentially aren't even operating. Your credit card is not going to work at the store. There'll be absolutely mass panic.
If you can blind the U.S. military, if you can shut down our GPS and our computer networks, our military is basically unable to function.
And what most people aren't thinking about, that's on my mind right now, Alex, is the social chaos implications of the freezing of the financial infrastructure in America. I think it's the union leader for the LA police saying, don't come to LA. That's the beginning of what's going to be really no-go zones.
My message to anybody considering coming to Los Angeles, especially during the holiday season, is don't. We can't guarantee your safety. It is really, really out of control. I said it to people before. It's like that movie Purge. You know, instead of 24 hours to commit your crime, these bad people have 365 days to commit whatever they want.
They may at some point tweet out a map of LA and they'll just draw, 50 square blocks and say, these are no police zones. But what's going to trigger that is the freezing of the financial system, which could be engineered, and it could be used to blame it on China so that Biden can then go ahead and stage some kind of conflict with China and use that to declare domestic martial law under a wartime emergency. Remember, they have to have perpetual emergencies. And since the COVID emergency is kind of petering out, people just aren't buying it anymore, they need another bigger emergency in order to keep people in line. And so war is one, financial collapse is one. But Alex, and you know this very well, your audience knows this, what happens when the food stamps stop working, when the ATMs stop working, when all transactions are frozen? What they want is for productive citizens to be gone, and the actual income earners and producers in cities to flee, and that's happening right now.
Well, I totally agree with you, and we're talking about escape from New York scenario, which is the globalist plan to make much of the West no-go zones. This has been planned. Now, the police aren't in on this. They're just going to be put in a position where this is what's going to happen. They're being cut in half. They're being defunded. They're being told pull back. And this has all been part of the larger plan to collapse the country. And then the globalists go, oh, look, you collapsed on your own. As you mentioned, or gave a little prelude to, the communist Chinese dailies are all like, America's a race war. They're a failure. Their cities have collapsed. They're a joke. And then their clients, Bill Gates and their minions, like President Biden, are doing this. So this is a war, and COVID's a war, and the devaluing our currency is a war, and annihilating our borders is a war. I mean, the country is going down. The images you're seeing, if you're a TV viewer watching the radio simulcast, is Spain, where hundreds of thousands filled city streets for miles, chanting "Libertad, Libertad," which of course means liberty in the Spanish or in the Latin. Where the people stand up for their rights, there's liberty. Where the people submit, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. This is a global corporate revolution against humanity to break our will, to cut us off from God, and to force us into the metaverse. I want to be extremely crystal clear about this. In all their admissions in the DARPA documents with the 5G and other programs, it is to lock us in our houses, living inside virtual reality systems that we're forced into to go to court, to go to the store, to buy, to sell, to work. Majority of the public will not be allowed outside their homes, and then we will be, quote, forced into the artificial metaverse prison. It's already being done with school children. They're already saying you don't get trials in person, but you can do it from your jail cell. This is the prison planet being formed officially and being set up. What did I tell you 20 plus years ago? They are forming a prison planet. That's why in Australia and the US and the EU and the UK, laws were all passed in the last 2 years by law. By law. Starting in 2024, all cars will have a tracker system in them. And they're going to start making older cars be retrofitted that watches you, listens to you, has a breathalyzer, and reports back to big tech and the government what you're doing, where you're going, and what you're up to be able to tax and control you with the carbon taxes. It's not just going to be home assistants inside your house watching and listening. It's not going to just be Ring surveillance systems in your neighborhood that aren't really there to protect you, but are there to watch you. This is an AI takeover grid in their own admissions. This is the post-industrial world being set up. And you notice the societies that submit, things only get worse, and the virus only gets worse, and the death only mounts, and the lockdowns only intensify. The more you're injected, the more you submit, the more you die. This is a kill operation. And now Fauci, and now the UK government, and the New Zealand government, the Australian government, the German government have announced COVID injections are permanent. 7 shots a year has been announced by Israel. It'll be announced here soon, always 6 months after. Always raising the number. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 5 shots, 6 shots. Bill Gates says it'll be 9 to 12 shots you'll be getting every year forcibly of a gene therapy that erases your immune system. And you say, well, they're going to get in trouble for killing everybody. No, they're not. They already killed tens of millions of people with poison vaccines over the last few decades, and hundreds of millions of autistic boys from the vaccines, and a cocktail of things. The blood-brain barrier is half as strong on a male as is on a female. We put up with that, and that was the test, okay? You let us test some experimental anthrax shots on the troops. It killed over 30,000 of them on record. Now we'll just do it to everybody. Last week, the head Israeli scientist running the government said 7 shots, and by Innovatech of Pfizer says now you need 6 shots. See how it works? And then in a few months it'll be 8 shots, and then 10 shots, then 12 shots. Because what do the unvaccinated and the vaccinated have in common when it comes to COVID-19? You're never fully vaccinated. And the worst part about the 15 days to flatten the curve is the first 2 years. So if they could kill 33,000 plus U.S. troops, certified, confirmed by Congress, much worse probably, of dying from the anthrax shot that didn't even protect them.
Fuck this!
And the 2 different rounds of those that went on, experimental unauthorized vaccine, then what can't they get away with? And the answer is the sky. The sky isn't even the beginning of the limit. We got a huge broadcast lined up for you today and a lot of positive news and fighting back. Texas creates hotline for employees to report workplace systems that are trying to require COVID-19 injections in total violation of federal, state, and the Nuremberg Code. Got the bad news, Julian Assange having a big stroke in his 9th year of solitary confinement for the thought of being a journalist. More coming out on CNN, and we put up the live show feed. Got a very powerful headline up there today. I've told you that CNN is a globalist private intelligence agency that was actually working with Jeffrey Epstein. Told you that many times. And that many of their producers and operatives actually are running groups of trained underage sex operatives to then go out and corrupt other individuals as part of these criminal networks. That's what Epstein's specialty was. He was just one of the superstars, of that. He would be like Tom Brady's the superstar of NFL's, the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time was Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who ran giant child kidnapping pedophile rings for MI6 and OSS before that, and Mossad on record. And so she went and married the superstar that was like her daddy. Well, you've got this big bust of Cuomo's producer luring women in who wanted their children to be sex slave operatives of CNN, and it's now coming out that that's what's happening. So they're having big problems hiding all this. Can we put the live show headline up for folks? I want to put the live show headline from Infowars.com up for everybody. Oh, it's not up yet. Well, as soon as the live show feed headline goes up, we'll cover that and we'll read that for you. We're getting a lot of traffic on Infowars.com today. I know I just tried to update it 10 minutes ago when I went live on air, so maybe the software and the server's a little bit sluggish because people are really hitting our servers in massive numbers. There it is. Monday emergency broadcast. Reset Wars is now live. Globalist panic as CNN pedophile ring identified. So their whole great reset, their global lockdown, trying to put us under martial law, trying to scare us, is in case we try to take our governments back peacefully and send them all to prison. So whether it's Zuckerberg or whether it's Fauci or whether it's Bill Gates, they're all in on it, ladies and gentlemen. And now they want to rape your children with these deadly chemical bioweapons, nanotech, that erases their immune system and gives them the equivalent of AIDS. We've got a bunch of mainline news on that, admitting the people that take the shot, they take a second or third, then have an autoimmune disorder similar to HIV virus. It has part of the HIV virus in it, but it's not the full virus, but it causes the T cells to turn off, the white blood cells, and causes some very, very serious situations, and the killer T cells as well. So that's all coming up here today. A very, very exciting announcement that I'll be getting more into in the bottom of the hour segment, about 15 minutes. Reset Wars is now live at resetwars.com. And for 48 hours, you can get 25% off on the new 6+ hour course, Reset Wars. And there's so much more accompanying it and so much more being launched. We're not just fighting the globalist Great Reset in the Reset Wars, we're resetting our minds, breaking down really the secrets of the actual nuts and bolts of real psychology, not the false systems that they've put out there to control people, but from MK Ultra documents and more, actually what's going on and how to take your mind to the next level. It's my greatest work, scaring the hell out of them behind the scenes. They're really freaked out by this. They've already got a lot of publications attacking it and lying about it, even though they haven't seen it yet. And then Wednesday at 11:59 Central, the 6+ hour course goes live for everyone that has signed up at resetwars.com. There's a lot more I haven't gotten to yet. I'll be telling you about at the bottom of the hour, but believe me, you've seen we've changed the world already together. Well, you definitely want to be part of this, and it also supports our entire operation. So a 360 win as you support the tip of the spear. But believe me, this is something you want, and if you watch it and research it and put it into practice, I believe you will be completely blown away how amazing this is. Total game changer. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. As regular listeners and viewers will know, I have really been not so much even targeting the globalists. We know Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates are evil. We know their puppet, fraudulent president is Biden and is a joke, and so is Kamala Harris. It's important to point out they're enemies of America and criminals, but they're front people. But instead of focusing only on them, how about President Trump coming out admitting he got conned, that this isn't a vaccine, it doesn't protect you, and it doesn't work? Laura Ingram's been having medical doctor guests on that say just that. In fact, it erases your immune system and is worse than not taking it. I played clips off Laura Ingram last night with prestigious virologist and epidemiologist and immunologist that she's had on, saying exactly that, because it's a fact. So he's a medical doctor. He knows all this. Rand Paul knows all this. So I'm more upset with Rand Paul than I am with Trump, because Trump, again, didn't understand what was going on, and I'm not giving him a pass. Paul has come out and said that the vaccine cult, the leftist global UN cult, isn't going to be happy till they're injecting newborns. Yeah, with dozens of systems that erase their immune system and give them permanent spike protein colonies that are equivalent to what causes mad cow disease or spongiform encephalopathy. And so I love Rand Paul. I've known Rand Paul 28 years. Knew him back when he was in college doing interviews for his daddy, trying to get him reelected to Congress. But he's a real chink in the globalist armor. He's the knight out on the field with a much better, more prestigious position than I've got or Joe Rogan's got or even Tucker Carlson's got, and we need him to lead. Well, he's starting to do it when he says they won't be happy till they inject the children with this. He's going in the right direction, but it's the elephant in the room. It's all the medical literature. It's all the facts. We know that it doesn't protect you. It's not that it gets 96% or 74% or 49% or 32% or 21% or 18% or 5%. You know, they've whittled it down to that with Pfizer and Moderna, quote, after 6-8 months. Now they go, oh, you just need it because of Omicron. That's why it isn't working anymore. Record numbers of people in hospitals. It wasn't the case last year. Now it is. And we didn't just predict it. We laid it all out. So finally, Senator Paul's starting to go in the right direction. Here it is.
So explain to me, why is this only one-size-fits-all medicine all the time?
You know, these people won't be happy until they get your newborn. I mean, they really want to get your newborn inoculated before they leave the hospital. They're going to restrict certain things. You know, they're not going to dispense schooling, but they're also going to try to get them before they leave the hospital. I think it's outrageous and ignores the science. It's all based on this misreading of the science that says we haven't been vaccinating enough and that we're under-vaccinated. The truth from the CDC is quite the opposite. Over age 75, 97% of people have voluntarily chosen to be vaccinated. Between ages 64 and 75, 99% of people have been vaccinated. So we are voluntarily accepting this. Most people at high risk have been vaccinated. This is a disease of the elderly, not of children.
Okay, so that's enough. He's still falling back on data from a year ago because he pushed this and said, yeah, go ahead and take it. Let's reopen things. He was wrong, just like Trump. But at least he's saying they're not going to be happy until they inject your children and pointing out your children don't need it. Yes, what an incredible crime. No one needs it. They suppressed the Pfizer documents that it caused thousands to die in just the first few months and massive increases in miscarriages. And you know that, Senator. But see, that's why this broadcast is different, why it's so important you keep us on air, and why I thank you all. Because I don't care if you're black or white, old or young, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, doesn't matter. If you are promoting freedom, I'm your brother. I'm your friend. But if you know the truth and you don't go all the way, I'm coming after you. And I'm telling you, our victory will be in making the good Republicans come out and take on Big Pharma all the way. They know that's dangerous. They know that you'll get attacked if you do that. They know you might get killed. Paul's already been shot at. He's already had his ribs broken, his lung punctured. I get it. I love Rand Paul. I know he's a good man. But you don't have half measures, Senator. We need your full announcements. We need you to put on the full armor of truth and take the enemy on point blank. I've done it. And I'm not trying to tell you to man up here because I'm such a man. I'm saying I need you. We all need you. So man up for your own children. Don't be lying in your bed like they say in Braveheart many years from now, wishing just once. You tell these globalists you can take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom. Let's play back-to-back Dr. Zelenko last Friday in that super viral video of him saying the COVID vaccine causes AIDS, which it does. And then we'll play a clip from Karen Kingston with Stu Peters, and then we back up what she's saying with one of the big pharma announcements and one of their own PSAs admitting that they've put the HIV spike protein in it. Here it is. There's a lot of people are going to tune in here wanting to know, hey, what's going on with the shot? And the fact that it's all confirmed it's hurting people, and where you see that going, Dr. Zelenko.
How's things?
Well, you know, I've said things, and of course then I get cold nuts, and then 2-3 months later, people come to realize that what I said was correct, and they take credit for it. But I don't care about that. But what I will say is that the spike protein, whether from the virus or from the vaccine, causes AIDS, causes acquired immune deficiency.
Wow. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, it destroys your immune system, your innate immune system. damages your T cells, makes you much more vulnerable to, first of all, developing cancer and autoimmune diseases and other infections, and that's why people are dying. There is most likely not a natural solution to this. That the enemy is really, this is a biblical war. This is the end game of creation right now. And we have it's a glorious time to be alive. It's turbulent, it's definitely scary. There's going to be a huge body count. There already is. And I just hope that there'll be, if this conversation leads to one person not dying unnecessarily, that's already considered.
Annihilate them. Now, this is the part when people's jaws are going to drop. We know CGG is not found in nature, therefore it's patentable. Well, who did all the research on this and who owns it? Well, Dr. Fauci did a number of studies. He paid himself over $11.667 million with U.S. taxpayer dollars between 2014 and 2020 to research using glycoprotein 120 from HIV and integrating it into coronaviruses. And he patented it. He owns several patents on this. So every time someone's being injected with the synthetic mRNA, producing the Wuhan-HU-1 spike glycoprotein, Fauci is making a dime.
He needs to go to jail. This is someone's gone absolutely mad.
The shape of the coronavirus spike protein before the virus meets our cells is what triggers the most protective antibody response. So Keith must make the spike protein in the lab, knocking it into exactly the same shape by adding another protein that acts a bit like a clamp. And that protein is a tiny fragment of HIV.
The reason we chose this protein is because it's so well understood. It's a highly stable structure. There is absolutely no risk from this type of vaccine. There's nothing that makes HIV replicate.
So it's got HIV replicate. It's so good for you. And of course, if you go back and study HIV, why was it so much more deadly in Africans? Because it turns out that many of the cells, particularly the blood in Africans, is different. And that the HIV spike protein can plug into it better. So it kills white people and Hispanics too, and Asians, but it really loves killing those black people. But remember, CNN loves black people. I don't normally give Don Lemon of CNN any attention because he's one of the most over-the-top, ridiculous propagandists out there. But now that Cuomo's left and his producer's been busted for reportedly running a child trafficking sex slave operation, which, of course, is connected to larger groups above him. That's who these guys are. It's a network. Lemon's one of the biggest shows there. He's got almost 500,000 viewers, which is tiny, of course, compared to even local radio shows in big cities have more viewers or listeners than that. So he's now come out and really gaslit the public even more, saying car accidents are up in the United States because you're not wearing masks. And you ask, that makes no sense. This is all gaslighting, folks. They're training you to listen to pure bull and just get where you're not offended by it and where you just give up on information, period. That's called jamming. And I'm going to explain the psychological warfare they're involved in right now. My job is to break down how the world really works, who the real players are, and then to give you tools that once you understand them, you'll surpass my understanding. Because I'm not telling you what to see, I'm getting you to take the blinders off or to reverse the image, put the glasses on like they live. So I'm going to play a clip of that in a moment, go through a bunch of geopolitical news, a bunch of out-of-control congressional news, a bunch of CNN pedophile ring information, and we are also going to be looking at the latest COVID-19 information and how people around the world are striking back against that. Separately, I want to thank listeners, though, for realizing that InfoWars is the tip of the spear and that InfoWars won't back down when it comes to exposing the globalists and their operations. And that really this is a historic operation. And so you don't just get great products when you shop at InfoWarsStore.com. You're also really are funding the most effective organization out there that has massively influenced not just hundreds of millions of people conservatively towards liberty, but some of the top people out there now fighting the New World Order. We have been instrumental in waking them up, they've told me personally. That's not about bragging, it's about giving you the good report card for your support. And you're my boss, and I'm saying I have tried to be a good servant of freedom. I've tried to be fearless. I've tried to work super hard. I've tried to really tell the truth. I've tried to be bold. And I've just gone with the justice and the truth in my guts. And I really do need you now as we enter the main part of the battle to support us with your prayers, your word of mouth, and financially. Now, I'm not going to BS you. UPS and USPS that we use and every other shipping system is behind a lot more than it was in past Christmases. So normally, anywhere in the continental United States, you could order stuff 3 days before Christmas and get it. 5 days before Christmas, you could get it in Hawaii or Alaska or even earlier. Because of what's going on in the lower 48, you need to get your orders in by Thursday to get them before Christmas. Need to be in by Thursday. We'll get it all shipped out Thursday and Friday. We're up to date. We're shipping stuff within really 12 hours usually. But, sometimes, obviously, if you count the weekend, it takes 24 hours because nobody works on Sunday. So if you want to do your Christmas shopping with us, want to support the InfoWar and get great products at the same time and not fight the crowds and not support the big establishment box stores, then do your shopping at InfoWarsStore.com. And our biggest sales of the year always are in November and December. We're selling out of a lot of great products. The supply chain is broken down so bad that if you thought we've had products sold out for 6 months to a year was bad, we're looking at not going to be able to have these products perhaps next year with more lockdowns coming in. And that's some other news I wanted to add here, because this isn't just a plug here. This is also news. Inside baseball in Connecticut, inside baseball in D.C., because we're embroiled in criminal and civil cases in both those places, and in Texas. They've already said in Connecticut, and they've already said in D.C., they're looking to shut down most of the courts January 1st or so. And that's from judges. I'm going to leave it at that. So, and that tells you where this is all going. This is all pre-programmed. The establishment up top, the technocrats tell the lower level minions what they're going to be doing, and so they have a heads up. I'm giving you a heads up on that. This is economic war to destroy the country. So this could be InfoWars last Christmas on air. It could be the last Christmas you're even able to, buy people presents or get supplies you need. And so it's great to buy somebody a watch or, buy somebody something that's a memento. Those are wonderful. But when you buy somebody vitamin mineral fusion with all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the key amino acids for your immune system, your body, that's to the gift of life and health. What a great gift to get yourself some and stock up, and to buy friends and family some for their stockings or under the tree. Or DNA Force Plus with the CoQ10 and the PQQ and so much more. The Rolls Royce for your mitochondria and your telomeres. Everybody should be taking that, especially during the winter and these crazy times. It's really next level protection, as much as you're going to get through the systems God gave us. They're all 40 to 60% off right now at InfoWarsStore.com. Christmas super sale up to 60% off plus free shipping store-wide and double Patriot points. Christmas time is here again. Defend the celebration of the holiday and support the InfoWars crew and operation and mission while getting the gifts you need for yourself and your loved ones at rock-bottom prices. Instead of getting your family members the same cheap gifts, why not give them the gear, the preparedness supplies, the supplements they really want and need? Our powerhouse formulas up to 60% off, and the savings don't stop there. We're giving you free shipping store-wide and double Patriot points on all purchases. Shop now and get massive savings on all these incredible products. Brain Force Plus, 50% off. Ultimate Krill Oil, back in stock, 50% off. Patriot Blend, Immune Support Blend, Coffee, back in stock, $2 off, because there's not much discount. I mean, there's not much room there, not a lot of margin. Knockout Sleep Formula, 50% off. Hair and Beard Support Formula, that's also a great multivitamin mineral, 60% off. COVID Land 2, The Mask, the new film on DVD for your archives, and to be able to make copies of it shared. You get a free copy of The Order of Death and Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, 2 DVDs, 3 films for the price of 1. 1776 founding member coin. There's less than 500 of those left. It will sell out in the next few hours at InfoWarsStore.com. And that's really secret squirrel stuff. Everybody that buys that coin is going to be let in, not just first, but exclusively on some very important operations we're launching. So 1776 founder member, 1 ounce silver rounds historic coin. Those are about to sell out. Alexa Pure back in stock. Alexa Pure Pro, the great gravity-fed water filter. That's $30 off. We've also got fan favorite products that are flying off the shelves with the pandemic causing massive disruptions to the supply chain. We just don't know when they'll be back. Get these products now before they're gone. Vitamin Mineral Fusion, 40% off. These are selling out. Prostagard, 50% off. Turbo Force, 40% off. All new Super Coral Whitening Toothpaste with the iodine and the tea tree oil. It is discounted. Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, 40% off. DNA Force Plus, 40% off. Down and Out Liquid Sleep Aid, 50% off. Super Male Vitality and Female Vitality, 50% off. Living Defense, 50% off. Lung Cleanse, 50% off. And that's my plugging basically for that today. I mean, I might plug it again, but we need your support, but it's a catch-22. Everything can be shut down anyways very, very soon. You won't be able to even get this stuff. So we're getting all the money we can in. I sold my house. I am literally selling all this crap I bought over the years I didn't really even need, getting lean and mean, and, you know, getting the back 40 ready with the solar panels and the well and the shotgun rifle and the four-wheel drive in case we lose the whole thing. I think we're going to back the globalist off, but the next 10 months, they're going to make a run at America and the world, the likes of which you've never seen. So again, T-shirts, books, films, water filters, air filters, anything you ever wanted from InfoWars, I would suggest you get it now, because I'd give it a 50% chance nobody's on the air and they got death camps operating and release real bioweapons and kill half the United States by the end of next year. I don't think they're going to let an election happen. I think they're going to, I'm just going to be honest. I'm sorry, I can't lie to you. I think the globalists are going to go ahead and release bioweapons and nerve gas on the general public. So I would just get ready to I mean, only by saying that will we stop them. I mean, this is their real plan. Everything else was just to practice the lockdowns and practice the takeover and just get us ready for the real kill operation. They're bringing in their New World Order, ladies and gentlemen. They've already starved an extra, now it's 35 million people to death with lockdowns, and new ones are coming. So we'll be as bad as Australia by next year, and that's on the good side. So again, just supercharge this one last time. I've been on there 28 years, never talked like this, but I got to be honest with you. I'd say 50% chance the election doesn't happen, or they have a totally staged one, and we'll all be in death camps. All right. I did not plan to say what I said at the end of the last segment. I've been really thinking about telling you what I really think is going to happen, and it's so horrible that I consciously don't want to say it, but my spirit wants to just tell you what I really think is going to happen, because that's the only chance we've got to stop it. But it's not right to just come out and make these horrible announcements without really spending a lot of time going over it all, and then without telling people how to protect yourselves as best you can. If you fight back against the system, you're going to get marked. But if you don't fight back against the system, they're going to take over anyways and just get you later. And so I've made the decision to just go 110% all out, to go up against these people as hard as I can, and to really just get in their face so that I can draw as much attention as possible to what's going on, and hopefully other people figure out quickly that our only hope is coming to grips with the fact that we're really in a dystopic depopulation takeover. You can see the clips. We can play them from 10, 12, 15 years ago where I predict exactly what was going to happen, because I, again, was not predicting any of it. This has been their holy grail of depopulation and control, is a virus. And the first phases would be lockdowns to train you to live under martial law, and then more intense, more powerful weapons releases later to get rid of you. And that just makes perfect sense. When I was reading their battle plans and their blueprints that are thinly veiled, very thinly veiled, they tell you 98% of it. Hell, sometimes they admit they're doing it. And they admit all this. And so you can try to serve the system, you can try to go along with it, you can try to do whatever you want, but when a killer kidnaps somebody, they tie them up before they really start torturing them and raping them. And you're being tied up right now. You're being prepared to be locked up in your house as a prisoner, forced onto the virtual reality, so that you just stay indoors while the third world is completely wiped out. And then the globalists are going to take their time having their way with you. That's what we expose in Reset Wars at resetwars.com, now live today. How to counter this, how to be aware of it, how to go to the next level. But you're going to need the psychological and spiritual strength to defeat them and to understand what they're doing to you. And that's why this is our most important work. And it launches Wednesday at 11:59 a.m. But if you pre-order it today, get 25% off. And again, I want you to watch this. I want you to research it. I want you to understand it. I want you to use it. You know I don't BS. You know we're game changers. So when I tell you something is next level, this is next level. Okay, let's get back to Don Lemon that I was mentioning in the last segment. Don Lemon, a horrible person, just like Cuomo, a true nest of evil predators up there at CNN, where producers aren't just screwing, raping 9-year-old girls in front of their mothers who were there taking part in it. It's being done to train them to be a sex slave to other men because mommy wants to make money off the daughter. Mommy wants into the CNN coolness, the funness of the Satanism. That's what it is. Turning our children into a commodity, a sacrifice to Moloch. That's what the whole pagan operation's about. Epstein 2.0, CNN producer arrested for child rape, child grooming and preparing for trafficking. Homos, head producer. Look at him. That's the face of the enemy. And if I looked at that guy, I'd tell you he looks like a pedophile, doesn't he? Always doing the little soy boy smile. Put Brian Stelter up there. Not saying Brian Stelter's a pedophile, I'm just saying if I was going to cast someone for a movie to play the part of someone that throws children into the fires of Moloch, it'd be Brian Stelter. Up him in a big priest robe with a baby. Ha ha ha! That jack-o'-lantern smile. Ah, to the flame. Yes, bring me your children. I'm Brian Stelter. Let me show you my face. Oh, that'll make you get a chill up your spine. Give you the willies, won't he? Nobody's home but a creature that wants to destroy. And it wants innocence, and it always wants it. It's never stopping. Always attacking, like a zombie, an undead. So Don Lemon goes next level and says, with no corollary evidence, no common sense, no logic, that, well, it's like people don't wear masks. They don't care about people. And people that drive recklessly, they don't care about people. No, people that don't wear masks know it's a fraud and gives you oxygen deprivation and bacterial pneumonia and doesn't work. Oh, but all the liberals, they care. They're the moral people, so they wear the mask. It's the symbol that they're superior. They're good. So here's Don Lemon going next level with something that doesn't make sense on purpose, just to make you tune out. It's jamming. It's where it doesn't make sense. It's illogical. And as an adult, it just makes you tune out. With children, it creates mental illness. It creates disassociation. It creates multiple personalities, basically. Here it is.
38,680 deaths on U.S. roads last year, the most fatalities since 2007. And that's even with pandemic precautions drastically reducing the number of drivers on the road. So what gives? Well, some experts are saying that this is due to an overall lack of civility in our society, a lack of civility that we have seen in school board meetings.
Okay, right here. Look, right here. So as you can see, fists are now flying. All of this on live television. Fists are flying.
Hit pause. Back in a couple seconds. This is Don Lemon, who a witness says ran up and grabbed his genitals and a bunch of other really sick stuff. I'm not going to repeat all the things he did. It's too gross. Reportedly did. But we know he's raping the truth. And they think some people scuffling and pushing each other at a school board meeting outside the door is not civility. I thought it was mostly peaceful protest when you burn down billions of dollars of stuff and kill dozens of people. So see, he's murdering logic right there, and then he just makes the leap into face mask. If you won't wear face mask, well, see, that's why there's so many wrecks and reckless drivers. No, Klaus Schwab said we're creating an angry world so people do destroy civilization. That's why they're cutting the police and letting criminals out of jail in 900 plus jurisdictions after they commit serious crimes, is to make society fall, Cloward and Piven, and you're the people behind it. And then you sit there and talk about the uncivility when it's your plan to destroy civility. Like Mad Maxine said. Continue.
Well, some experts are saying that this is due to an overall lack of civility in our society, a lack of civility that we have seen in school board meetings.
Okay, right here. Look, right here. So as you can see, fists are now flying. All of this on live television. Fists are flying.
Over mask mandates.
We know who you are. Keep it calm. No more masks. Keep it calm.
By the way, hit pause. If you're a radio listener, you can't see it. The fists are flying are leftists pushing people that don't want to wear a mask and then them barely pushing back. That's not fist flying. And it's the left initiating it as usual, but he spins it. And then again, people pissed that they want to give oxygen deprivation that causes brain damage to our children and psychologically screw them up and do all these abusive things to them. And some parents are mad at school boards. You bet they are. They should be. You're the people pushing. You're the people demanding. You're the people letting the criminals out. You're the people pulling all this crap trying to start a revolution because you think you can win a physical one because you know intellectually everybody hates you. You have no ratings. Hollywood's collapsed. Your system's over. The Clintons are dying. David Rockefeller's dead. Let's continue.
Over mask mandates.
We know who you are. Keep it calm. No more masks. Keep it calm. You will never be allowed in public again.
And on airplanes.
He's civil. You gave me one warning. One warning.
But with more than 229 million licensed drivers, the risks to you and your family are higher than ever. So joining me now is Pam Shadle-Fisher from the Governor's Highway Safety Association. So
okay, I've heard enough. He goes on, you can read the article at Infowars.com, the transcript, or watch it, to say that it's the people not wearing masks are causing the incivility that's causing more wrecks. No, you guys have put us in a pressure cooker. You're trying to divide society. In Austin, the police have been publicly ordered to do no proactive policing. So crime is just exploding. Mass shootouts every night, death, record killing in all Democrat-run cities, massive crime. Everybody I know has had their house broken into or their cars. And then he sits up there trying to tell you how he is up there and how you're just not civil because you don't like the school boards teaching your children pedophilia and critical race theory, and you don't like them making kids wear masks, and oh, let's have the road group on here that wants to ban human drivers. We'll be back with hour number 2.
Got the data. Thanks, V. Get closed.